Hey everyone, welcome to Pillow Talk number 6, where we're going to talk about ego, social anxiety, and betrayal. So 3 really tough things. Look at all these questions you guys sent. First question is by Just Blossom 75, and she asked, Michelle, how do you learn to do just what you love to do without thinking about what's going on in other people's minds? Having the mental capability of overcoming the problems that you're creating in your head is so key. A lot of the times when people start worrying about what other people think, you're displacing your insecurity on everyone else around you. Or the other way around, maybe everyone else around you is displacing their insecurity onto you and you're reflecting that. You have to stop thinking about what other people are thinking and think about what you're thinking. That's so important. What do you think about it? What makes you happy? What feels right to you? Because if you're trying to please everyone else around you, you're never going to please yourself. When it comes to your own personal projects, your own beliefs, your own identity, it's instrumental for you to own it yourself and to not have other people dictate how you should be, how you should think, what you should eat, what you should wear, who you should marry, what type of job you should have. It's all on you. From Giselle, and her handle is Harry's favorite _. I wonder who Harry is. Michelle, the difference between confident and stuck up. Having confidence, in my opinion, means that you accept who you are, you accept your traits, your positive traits, and also your negative traits too, but you are very accepting of who you are, how you look, how you present yourself. Arrogance is different because it's based more on ego. It plays a lot with insecurity, your own insecurity that you have with yourself, and overcompensating that insecurity by being overconfident and exuding that presence with everyone else. It can be like a magnet because a lot of people gravitate towards someone that's very, very confident, sometimes borderline stuck up because they do shine brightly. But it can be a huge turnoff for a lot of people too, because that type of attitude can be a little abrasive for most people who just they just want to do their own work quietly. They just want to live their own life, and dealing with someone that has that arrogance can be really difficult. So your attitude is so important. And if your attitude is less about gratitude and you're giving more attitude, it's never going to last long. It's going to be really hard for you to progress in life with an attitude that is built on arrogance rather than confidence. So how you distinguish it is confidence is all about self-acceptance. Arrogance is built on ego and insecurity. Question from Inga at Inga Photos. Michelle, how do I get a job when you have social anxiety? Jobs for people with social anxiety. I can give you one in relation to what I know of. So with Ipsy, we invested a lot of our money into customer service and customer experience. So we have a whole team of what we call Ipsy Care people who they answer your questions on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you ask your questions regarding your bags or your account or with Ipsy. They go and they answer it, and they get a chance to talk to people without actually having to talk to them in person. So let's say you're not the best when it comes to writing, but you're a great photographer or you're really good at editing. These are jobs that you can do where you don't really have to communicate with people every day. You can communicate with them via online messages, and you can either take photos or become a social media manager. You can learn how to edit pictures or videos, or you can learn how to draw. You can still do great social stuff, but without having to interact with people all the time. Because even with myself, I get a lot of social anxiety whenever I go to big events, whenever I go to parties and I have to meet people that I don't know, because I don't really know who a lot of these strangers are. I'm meeting them for the first time. I can't really gauge them, and I'm just very quiet. I like to observe. I like to see what the environment is like first before I interact, before I even open my mouth. Because if everyone is talking really loud and they're having fun, well, I'll adapt to that situation. And these are things that you can kind of consciously keep on the back burner whenever you're going into a new workplace or you're going to an event. Just observe the room first, understand the vibe and try and adapt to that vibe. Even just listening in general, you'd be surprised. The power of someone listening is a gift. So if you're a great listener, you're a great asset to these social events, because there's always going to be people there who are going to want to talk. They're going to want to have someone that really listens to them. Hi, Mish. Hi. Love you. Love you too. How clothes we wear can help with social anxiety This sometimes overwhelms me with a little sad face. Thanks. The more comfortable I feel in my clothes, the more confident I become. I think the first thing, again, is just observe, see what everyone else is wearing, and if you want to adapt with it. But the most important is really wearing what you love and feeling comfortable in it, because I truly believe when you feel comfortable in something, you're not going to only look good, you're going to feel good. Because if you're wearing something where you're always like, you're pulling the skirt down, or maybe something's a little too tight and you're trying to suck everything in, that is going to reflect on you, that people are going to see that you do feel uncomfortable because you are putting off that vibe. When someone sees that you're wearing something that's very genuine to you, you're going to inspire conversations from people. So imagine if you're a huge Star Wars fan and you wore a Star Wars necklace or an earring or a t-shirt, and someone there is also a Star Wars fan. They're gonna come up to you and maybe say something and spark a conversation, and boom, right there. You have interaction and you have a potential friend, or is there someone that you can talk to? How can you overcome the pain of betrayal? A tried and true method is time. Time is relative. The richest person to the poorest person has 24 hours in the day. What you can make in those 24 hours is all up on you. The methodology that I do is I take the emotions that I'm going through, anger, jealousy, resentment. I take all of those negative emotions and I make something creative out of it. Doing something creative, producing something, making something can really help pass the time. You're purging everything out onto a canvas, onto a desktop, onto a video, onto your face. Believe me, once you're making something, once you're taking all of those energies and you're turning it into something creative and you made something out of it, you feel so much better, you feel more empowered, and you realize that when you're waiting for something to happen, you're on the universe's time. But if you're the one who is actively making your own time, now you are the universe creating your own reality, and that's so powerful. I have a boyfriend who will not let me look at his phone. I think he might be cheating on me. What do I do? You shouldn't judge someone by what they're looking at on their phone, what they have on their phone, because that's so private. I mean, our phones have become so much more than just a phone. It's become almost like our diary. It has everything on there, our secrets, our thoughts, what we research, what we looked up. And I don't think it's fair for someone like you to have access to all that information, because if he or she wanted to share that with you, I mean, that should have been shared already, but maybe your relationship is not at that point where you can share things like that. There are some things that you shouldn't know. There are some things that you should know. If you want to look at his phone, he should look at your phone to keep things fair in that sense. But if there's some things that you don't want him to see, there's probably some things that he doesn't want you to see, because maybe he's dealing with his own personal problems and he wants to deal with it in his own way. You breaking into his phone, I don't think that is healthy. That shows also that you lack confidence in him. So that might put a damper on the relationship. How can I keep my own ego in check? I keep my ego in check by just calling my mom. It's always important to have that one person in your life that grounds you. They know who you are and they know the best parts of you. Hopefully that person can just be real with you and just tell you straight up that, you're slipping. It's so easy to surround yourself with yes people that can build a different reality in your head. Because if you're always surrounding yourself with people who are always saying yes, or you're shielding yourself from criticism, constructive criticism, how can you ever improve? How do you even know that you're doing anything wrong when no one is even calling you out? Whenever your bones are broken and it heals, it becomes stronger. And that's what I believe. When you get constructive criticism, it strengthens you and you become more conscious on it and you work on it. So be open to constructive criticism. Surround yourself, or have one person in your life that can keep it real, that's down with you, and that will tell you straight up if you are acting out of line. And the third one is to reflect on things that you've done. And that can be a Sunday thing, whether it's church, or it can be a daily thing every night before you go to sleep, just reflecting on the day, thinking about who did you interact with? How many people did you elevate? How many people did you piss off too? I mean, keep it real and reflect on that and become a better person the next day. All right, so that was it. Thank you so much for submitting all these questions. They were really great. I feel like I'm growing with you guys, which is kind of nice as we're figuring out how to live this thing that we call life. Thank you so much for just listening to my advice and my experiences and just being part of this journey. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next Pillow Talk. Mwah. Bye. Good luck with everything.